Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sim Racing Alliance. It's season 13. We are starting out tonight strong.
As they do go side by side. It is the formation lap almost done. They will look, all eyes to the lights. That's going to be an amazing start.
And we have a crash in turn 1 already. What's going on?
On to the bus stop straight. Goes for it around the outside.
More contact behind. That is huge. A couple of gainers in that one.
She's given it everything. She has to. I'm not sure that it's over yet, though.
This is the last opportunity.
We're off and away for SRA. Zoyuk Majorozag and bienvenido, bonjour, welcome and welcome back everyone to the Sim Racing Alliance Season 14 coverage of Division 6. We're live for round 5 at the Hungaroring in Magyarod in Hungary, and as we hit the halfway mark of the season, the intensity is only going up. So far, we've seen a chaotic opener at Indy, a dominant night drive at Kota, searing heat at Snetterton, and a strategic showdown amid utter chaos at Spa. Through it all, though, Mark DC leads the gold classification, Sean Paul leads silver, and Boatley Busters Racing holds a narrow edge in the team championship. So tonight we're tackling the Hungaroring. It's a 4.38 kilometer technical circuit with 14 corners. It's tight, twisty, and often called the Monaco without walls. And tonight it is absolutely soaked. Heavy rain, low grip, and of course with that big risk. Justin, welcome. Let's go and I'll let you guys take these guys through a lap.
Welcome, man. Another week of me and you hanging out together in the commentary booth for D6. But yeah, let's get right into it. We're going to start with turn 1, the heavy braking zone, into a tight right-hander, then a sweeping left through turn 2, where the exit speed is crucial. A short kink at turn 3 sets up for the very fast, blind uphill turn 4, one of the scariest parts of the track, honestly, to me. From there, we turn into turn 5, where a mid-speed right-hander pretty much brake hard for the chicane in turns 6 and 7. Got a nice rhythm here where you flow into sections following turns 8 and 9 and 10 and 11. It's all about flow and precision. This is a very crucial part in the rain. You don't want to lose grip and slow yourself down. And then it closes out with turn 12, tight right-hander, followed by turn 13 and turn 14, bringing you back onto the straight. Gonna be real slippery out there for this one for sure. No exit curbs are allowed to be really used in this situation, so got to keep yourself on the track as much as possible.
Yeah, keeping on the track is the name of the game. So let's take a look at the season so far. As I said, we started at Indianapolis, then we were in Kota for the American opening of our season 14. Then we went over to Europe. We started out at Snetterton in the searing heat. And then we had Spa, which brought plenty of drama, which we'll touch on a bit later on as well. And then we're here at Hungaroring. So after that, Red Bull Ring in the sunshine, Barcelona with a bit of mixed weather, and then rounding it out with Imola up ahead. But before we go into any of that, let's go and take a look at the driver standings. So, in gold, we've got Mark DC leading the way after 2 wins and what's considered what could be considered, I should say, unshakable consistency. Sasha Dickhouse and Andrew Hopkins are still within striking distance, though, only 69 points. And really, Juicy Jake, again, we'll mention it for the 3rd time in a row, still up there, still up in the high points, considering he missed the first couple of races of the season. He's up there, only 75 points off. Drawing level with Dylan Bonsall, who's also on 75 points off. And then rounding out the people that are within striking distance of one great race, we've got Havoc Gazosi, Dick Zipperburn Sr., and Glenn Jacobs. 110 points gets awarded to a race winner. Obviously, that would have to assume that Mark DC had a terrible race, but I'm sure he won't do that tonight, and I haven't got the heart for it. And in silver, it's even closer. So we've got Sean Paul leading by just 1 point over Travis Fletcher, with with Brad Bertram just a few points behind. It is certainly cooking up in the silver rankings.
Yeah, I mean the team championship is even closer there.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump through to the team standings.
Yeah, taking a nice look here. We got Boatley Busters Racing to hold in that top spot. Not too far behind Champion Motorsports Slippery Shift. They're gonna have to make sure that they don't slip all over the track to keep that gap nice and close. Then it's a little bit further down. We got Reckham Racing Team and Baseline Wood Racing for that third spot. Gotta have a nice team performance here to continue to move up and gain some ground on the top two there, but still possible. And then we have further down, we have Baseline Keen Wood Racing and Juicy Peters Racing and Pit Stop Posse. Just kind of rounding out the top 5, top 6 here, but lots of points still on the board.
Yeah, lots of points still up for grabs, and I mean, let's take a look back as well. Let's go back to the driver standing. So, I think what I'm trying to see this week is a bit more consistency. Now, one thing we did get at the beginning of Spa was a little bit of carnage. Shall I show them, Justin?
Yes, I mean we definitely should show them.
Let's go back and see what happened at the beginning of the last round, which was at Spa. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Oh man!
We even gave them the warning, Justin. We even gave them the warning.
All right, and off we go for round 4 at Spa, round 6 or Division 6, and it looks like we're.
Oh, we've got a contact. No.
And there's just.
It's getting worse. It's just getting worse and worse.
Oh man!
We even gave them the warning, Justin. So yeah, a little bit of carnage there, Justin. At the beginning. I think it was Brian Acombe found guilty of that infringement at the start there, and a few other drivers getting pinged as well for not being too, for sort of flying in there as well. So, yeah.
We're looking to clean it up this week, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Jay and I are a big advocate and, trying to help and teach the lower division of SRA and, give them a good moments to feedback and things that could help their racing craft. So we can't emphasize more than to be cautious on the first lap, especially tonight with the rain. The rain is going to be a huge factor of making sure, because if you're in the mid pack, it's hard, especially, as of last night, it's hard when you're in that mid pack and all you're seeing is spray up in your car. So keeping your distance and being extremely cautious is a important thing to be aware of.
Yeah, and I think I'm just taking a look. So these are the notes that I gave them based off of our race last night. I said lap 1 is treacherous. Treat it as a faster formation lap. Don't try and go for an overtake unless it's obviously presented itself. Don't do the infamous Bottas from Formula 1 as well going into turn 1 in terms of, colder brakes, colder tires. Your braking distances are going to be a lot longer. Don't go into one another. Things I noted, there were a lot of mistakes in our race last night, not just from myself, but from, throughout. There was a lot of contact, I think, throughout the entire race, which means that, there's a lot of opportunity in the full 60 minutes. It's, you just get yourself through those first couple of laps and then work it out from there. Also a few corners, so like turn 1, turn 2, turn 5, and turn 13. When you're going into it, it looks like there's a gap, but it closes so quickly. So you've got to avoid trying to stick your nose in on the inside. And I think, both of us had contact with other cars in at least one of those corners last night. from either us or other people thinking, oh, there's a gap, and then finding out there's not a gap there. Pit entry as well. Pit entry is a bit tricky. I think it's tricky in the dry, let alone in the wets as well. You know, you're going to have to go a lot slower. I certainly had to.
I almost hit the wall.
Yeah,
I almost hit the middle barrier slide, and yesterday I'm guilty of that 100%.
And then ultimately the other thing, I think we didn't fall foul up, but we got closer, which was track limits. You know, these track limits in the wet are absolutely no joke.
Yeah, no. There's a couple of spots coming out of turn 2 when you're going into that fast right-hander. If you slide in that wet too much and you go into that straight and your right tires go off, yeah, it's an easy spot. Also coming over the chicane, if you're trying to cut the chicane, if you go too much to the right of it, you'll get track limits, and right after that as well, going into turn 10, I believe, when it's another right-hander. If you slide out left too much, you know, track limits is pretty much that. Going off on track here, I mean, there's room for it, but racing-wise, it's extremely difficult when you're losing your car because it's wet to get yourself back to where you need to be. But yeah, track limits. I mean, I think we had 5 or 6 D3 drivers have track limits last night.
Yeah,
so I mean, it's definitely going to be something to watch for.
And it's something as well that seemed to just sort of build itself up. It wasn't something that happened like immediately. I noticed it was definitely like, you know, it was definitely towards the end of the race. And I think a couple of people got pinged on the last lap even. So, you know, it's yeah. It's,
also, behind the cars as well, when you're getting that straight line draft on somebody in the wet, it's harder to, you know, make that move, and you forget how much speed you have coming out of it, and you just kind of slide. So, also a big thing to be careful of tonight.
So, Justin,
should be fun though.
It should be fun. Walk everybody through the qualifying format, and then also go through. We got a few penalties tonight, so go through that as well.
Yeah, a little different than normal. Same as last week though for Spa, just because of the conditions and how the pit exit is. We don't want to intrude on anybody. So silver classification usually is from you start lining up as soon as they switch over the server, and usually start at the 20-minute mark, but we're starting 30 seconds sooner, just so that they can get time out there. So from 20:30 to 10:30, silver classification. There'll be a 30-second buffer just to let anybody who crossed the line not be impeded on the straight because it's farther down, and then golds will go out from 10 minutes to the end of session. Drivers tonight with qualifying bans is Rohan Devanini, sorry, again, can't pronounce her last name, I apologize. Mike Cook, Gordon Beverly Jr., and Brian Acombe. So, not too many. After last week's carnage, yeah. I mean, ideally, everybody across all divisions should be aiming to not have to subject themselves to having qualifying bans due to incidents in the race. But it happens, unfortunately, you know, but let's hope that it's not like that.
Yeah, so here we go then. We're on board with John May, who's found themselves, or Maya, I should say, sorry, found themselves out to the front of the silver classification. So they're already going out onto track now. And you know what we need? We need to ideally see the timing board. Let's find out where that's gone. There we go. So, for those of you tuning in for the first time, just a quick note on the leaderboard itself. The cars that have white nameplates, they're considered our gold drivers, so they're the top 20 in the division. And then the silver drivers have the darker silver background to their numbers. So that's how you can tell the difference between the two. And what we'll see is these guys come through the tight turn 6 and 7, going into what we were saying, that very flowy, very important to sort of get right, not overdo it too much section. It's wet out there, Justin. It's very wet.
Wet is a very understatement. It looks a lot wetter than what we had yesterday.
It does, and it looks like it's increasing, but I think it's going to be a bit too late in this session.
Yeah, I was going to say, it will be done by then. Now, I do also want to point out to the viewers as well that there is a chance that there could be a dry race.
There is.
I don't want anybody to be shocked. But. But there's a slim, I think, what'd you say, like 3% or something? I think we talked about this. 2%, 3%. There's a small chance we are victims of it 2 seasons ago at Red Bull Ring. So as
Never
much as it
forget.
may be wet, you may possibly fall into that category. But yes, very wet right now.
Never forget. So let's take a quick look while we got it. Nick K, open lobby, kind of turn 1 at Spa. Yep, pretty much. Justin McKechnie's on board. We're glad to have you. What, did the race restart or something? No, that was just a scene from Spa, and we kept it going. Whiskey Throttle, let's hope I've updated it right this time. Yes, I do hope. And then, correctly remembering that was Spa last week. So we're hoping for something different though today, folks. We're hoping for a nice clean turn 1. We shall see what we get. So John Mayer then the first to cross over the line to begin the start of our hot laps. So let's see, John Mayer this season, he's had a quiet season. It's definitely been an improvement on season 13. So, you know, all in all, it's all going in the right direction. So yet to really break into the top 5. But yeah, I think it's definitely all moving in the right direction. So Justin, what are the sort of lap times that people have been put through now? I know it's difficult to sort of estimate that, but you know, do we have any sort of indication as to where they're at with their lap times in practice week?
We are looking at, from what I can see, and just taking an average, it looks like it could be anything between the 153.5 mark to a little bit lower. We do have Travis Fletcher at a 148.8, which is significantly different from Garrett Lorp. But that's at 152.9, but I believe that's just by, you know, quick glance that I would assume that it was in the drier conditions than when most of D6 was out doing their practice.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would say that we're probably going to see into the low 153s. We may have a 152, but I mean, I don't know. With the getting wetter, I would assume that it may not be as fast as that, but you never know.
You never know. We'll see. Chat, we're going to start the predictions game. So guys in the chat, I want to know who have you got your money on tonight, or if you're in a state that doesn't allow betting, who do you think is going to win tonight? Justin, I want to know that from you. As Sean Paul goes over the line with fastest with a 155.6 to start it all off, as Pookie goes over 1.8 seconds slower.
You know me, Juicy Jake has been my go-to, but I actually think I'll take Mark DC tonight.
You're going to take Mark DC. He's won you over with that consistency.
He has. That consistency is what wins championships, and he has done a whole lot of that all season so far. So, yep, Mark DC. I do think that I'll take Sean Paul tonight though for the silver.
Sean Paul for the silvers. You know,
Yeah.
it's tricky for me with the silvers, right? And hear me out, because Peter Pan has done really well in the qualifying since him and Juicy Jake have joined us. But Peter has then found the racing a bit difficult. He's been on the wrong side of a couple of incidents. You know, so I feel like Peter has some real pace in there. If he can keep that consistent in the race, then I think it's Peter Pan's for the win. Travis Fletcher, obviously, as well. He did really well last time out. So you've always got to be thinking about. Although I'm just having a look now, and
I don't see him. I was gonna say I don't see him. So
unless he's one of those that have the no. Well, that's that then. Yeah. So Sean Paul, I think he's a pretty solid bet in the golds. Who am I? Golds. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting talent out there, I think, in D6 in the golds. I think over one lap, it's between Juicy Jake and Dylan Bonsil. Over the course of a race, you got to like Mark DC, obviously. Cameron Hastings voting for himself in the comments, so that's you know, we'll count it. That's fine. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be an interesting one tonight, because again, Juicy Jake and Dylan Bonsil, Dylan having the gremlin of success on his shoulders. You know, this is the second, 2 weeks in a row he's led or been ahead for a significant portion of the race, and somehow managed to press the self-delete button and ruined it all. So if he can avoid that, I think Dylan Bonsal's got some really good pace. Juicy Jake, again, has had some fantastic pace, but has then found himself getting into contact with other cars, or you know, rightly, or whether it's his fault or not, he's still found his way there. So again, if he can keep it clean, then who knows?
I don't know if you're seeing this correctly, but Pookie is up 2 seconds on his Delta. Am I lying here?
He is. He's up 2.1 seconds. So what would that be enough for him? That would be enough to put him into third, I think. If Pookie can get it through. Let's see if he can. Let's go ahead and jump over to him. He has got a bit of traffic, I think. So let's see as he comes around the final corner now.
A little wide, but that's fine. Oh, maybe not. My English.
Narrowed it out. Okay,
Oh,
that goes
very
great.
nice.
Oh, he likes
Very.
it. He pulls immediately over. He says, that will do. Thank you very much. Pookie,
Yeah.
obviously a debutant this season, so just getting to grips with life in the Sim Racing Alliance. Sean Paul, though, still on a really good lap. Nobody looking to really challenge Sean Paul at the moment by the looks of it, in the silver division at least, and he's got a big old gap. I think that 154.3 is going to be pretty competitive, isn't it? Oh, there's some fast drivers in gold division.
There is, and it just, it's just wet. So, I mean, you have no idea what it's gonna, be. Every server is it's different. So you have no idea what you are against your peers until that moment in time.
Yeah, that's sort of the charm, though, as well, I think, of... Peter Pan looks to have gone off at the end of turn 1. I think that's probably just, I'm done. Get me back. So let's go ahead and go on board with somebody else. Here. Go on board with Sean Paul then, just finding the way through the end of Sector 3. He's still the fastest man on the circuit at the moment. But it looks like he's lost a little bit of time going through. Is he setting himself up, I think, maybe for a run into the last sort of few minutes? They've got 30 seconds to cross the line. One thing I've noticed as well, Brad Bertram, he's consistently fast in 2/3 of the track, and then he seems to sort of lose it on that last sector. We'll see. He calls it quits as well, so he takes his place in second place. Jean Mayer has had a fantastic qualifying so far. He's up into 4th in the classification. That's a really big improvement from Jean Mayer, which is awesome to see. Thomas Kiss in 6th place as well, calling it quits, gone into the pits. Akuna Matata, awesome qualifying there. Jeremy Rand, though, finding... Okay, I think that's on the main straight. He's pulled off as well. A big improver, though, still out on track, is Max Yang at the moment. So he's currently off the pace by a couple of seconds. But this is an improvement at the moment as he comes through the last final few corners.
It looks like he's got it all together here. He's about to put himself up about a whole second.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be, it should move him up a couple of positions, yeah.
Not
just one position.
Well, it's still a good lap time. Yeah. Still a good lap. So let's go on board then with Jean Mayer. It's only Jean Mayer and Sean Paul out on circuit at the moment, but Sean is down by... So we'll stay on board then with Jean Mayer. Let's take a look from outside and see just how terrible that rain is on the windscreen. Especially since it looks as though the windscreen wipers aren't working. I assure you they are, but it's just a bug in Assetto Corsa. They're not that crazy.
They just turned them off. They were like, let's do a blind. Oh, he touched some grass there at the end. Ugh.
All right, so let's go on board then. We are now on board with Cameron Hastings. He's managed to slip out to the front, and we do have a nice livery for him this time around. Not sure about the main sponsor, but it is a livery nonetheless compared to the days. So let's keep on board with Cameron Hastings then as he goes on to start the beginning of his first hot lap. So just once again, our drivers here for the Gold Division, they do get typically a bit of a better situation with the track, but I'm not sure it counts for much in the rain. And they will go all the way to the end of the session now. So this is just the gold drivers. There seems to be a lot more gold drivers than silver today. A lot of the silver guys just saying, you know what, we'll take the drop, that's fine.
You know, sometimes I just don't blame them either. Like if you've never driven before in the rain, it's a very difficult task, especially here where most of the line is using the curbs on your exits, and you can't really ride them in the rain because if you accelerate on them, you're just gonna slide to the next century. So
Yeah.
it makes it even more difficult here than what it normally is.
I've noticed as well quite a lot of chaos at the back. I'm just trying to see who that is. But it seems like a lot of chaos at the beginning of people's hot laps. We'll go back on board though with Cameron Hastings. But yeah, it seems like there's quite a few big gaps out there, which isn't something we normally encourage.
No, yeah, we tend to want to have a good space, but you don't want to completely overdo it here. I just kind of noticed, yeah, he is very far ahead of everyone else. I wonder if he went out a little earlier and didn't have that 30-second gap of time.
I don't know. Yeah. Just very keen to get out there and show off his new livery, I think. Alright, so Cameron Hastings, after his first hot lap, puts it third on the grid. So again, Sean Paul's lap time not looking like a bad one at all. Let's go ahead and see what we've got coming over the line. We've got Dick Zipperburn Sr. goes and puts himself in 5th place. Then we've got Sasha Dickhouse goes second, albeit by about 0.4. Trying to keep Cleveland Leatherwood as well.
I say Glenn Jacobs just takes a nice
Oh yeah, look at that
chunk out of that.
Awesome that time. A big chunk. I mean, what's that, 0.9?
Yeah, just about.
Okay, so Sean Paul's been told, you know, this is for the golds now. So fair enough. Fair enough to Glenn Jacobs. Who can match it though? Because it doesn't look like a huge amount of people. Maybe some people out there. Juicy Jake, what does he manage to do? Goes 6th.
Yeah, Dylan Bonswell, a little bit up there.
Yeah. Dylan Bonswell certainly got the chance, the opportunity. We'll see what these guys can start to do. I think there's definitely more in the tank for a lot of but Glenn Jacobs, you know, is only just this. Oh, he's got a bit of traffic. Unfortunately, I think is that a Sean Keenan or a Sasha Dickhouse on the way there, or Sean Paul's. No, it's not Sean Paul's, it's Sean Keenan.
I think that's Sasha Dickhouse. Oh no, Cleveland Leatherwood.
Cleveland Leatherwood. Yeah, well, the rules of qualifying a bit different in SRA. If you're on a valid lap, you're entitled to be there. So if you catch up to the car ahead of you and it's still valid, then that is on you. So nothing that they've been doing nothing wrong there by sticking to it and keeping on going. More than entitled to do that, but it does come at the sacrifice of Glenn Jacobs. As Garrett Lorp goes and puts himself onto 2nd place, and not by much at all. Mark DC coming in 3rd. Daniel Beckstead coming in 4th as well. Awesome lap there by Daniel Beckstead, teammate of Bookie, of course.
Yeah, they should be able to get a couple more laps. Everybody who's crossing the line now. Just about 2 more. So every second of this counts right here as we.
And the interesting thing as well here is both of the cars are coming around the final few corners. Is Garrett Law is really threatening with his lap time, and so is Glenn Jacobs, both improving. Juicy Jake, meanwhile, splits the two. And Garrett Law, here he comes around the last corner now, turn 14. What did he do?
Oh, he lost a little bit of speed on that exit there.
I think he did, yeah. He's not improved. He was up. Juicy Jake on an absolute tear, though. Let's go on board with Juicy Jake. 0.3 up so far through the first opening couple of corners. Can he keep improving? It looks like he can.
Same thing with Mark DC. Mark DC's on a nice steamer right here. He's just about outside of that pole position. Oh, just by 300ths.
Yeah.
All right.
But I mean, you know, if you're the championship leader, as he is, he's got a little bit of a buffer. Nothing to get too comfortable with, as Tim Parkinson, I think, has found himself. Yeah, he's returned to the pits or something happened there for Tim. You know, being up there, third place is absolutely fine. You don't want to put too much pressure on yourself as a championship leader. As Juicy Jake also returns to the pits, we'll see there's still enough time to squeeze out another lap if it's something they want to do. Garrett Lorp, meanwhile, coming through now sector 2, currently up by half a second, which would be enough to put him on the top spot. Let's see what he can do here as he goes through the very flowy sector 2. Looks great to me, keeping off of the curbs as well, which is exactly what you want to do. You come into a hard braking zone now. And again, looks pretty clean to me. A tricky hairpin corner here is a bit wide, but that might play into his hand with the exit. I think it does.
It's swing out, right? Just to swing back in. Yes,
Now,
looks good.
how can he handle that last one? Does he lose the back end? Seems to keep it all in check. Can he get over the line?
Oh, it's perfect.
It's exactly what the doctor ordered, and by no small margin as well. That's 0.5 of a second. He opens up on Glenn Jacobs. So really now the only two people that can stand in his way, Glenn Jacobs, Mark BC and Dylan Bonsall, but none of them looking to anywhere near challenge it that at the moment. Maybe Mark DC. Let's go on board and see where he's at as he crosses the line. He's going to have one more opportunity. Does he have the fuel on board? It seems like he does, but he does do enough to take second place. So he only needs a 0.2 or a 0.3 improvement to take the top spot. So we've got a little bit of a shootout here, guys. It's looking good. It's what we were promised.
Yeah, it looks like Garrett is not gonna be able to do anything there. About a second off of his best time now, so it's up to Mark DC. Yeah.
Now again, as they come around, Glenn Jacobs got a little bit of traffic. Should be enough though. He's got about 3 seconds ahead of him now. And it should be enough time. Let's go back on board with Mark DC as he comes into the sort of middle, the beginning of the middle of sector 2. That's turn 6. That's turn 7. Rides the curbs, which the Boatley can do quite nicely, but he is down. Somebody who's not down though through turn 1 had a fantastic turn 1. He's up by half a second, which would be enough to put him onto pole position. It's Glenn Jacobs, so let's stay on board with Glenn and see exactly what he can do.
Yeah.
So he needs to be up at least 0.5. He's up by 0.7. As he
Yeah, just got to keep that back end now from flying out. Done a good job through the first sector, just not letting that slide all over the place.
Ooh,
that might have been. Yeah, I was gonna say that is unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
He was on a real good time too. That's all right. Third's not terrible.
It's not terrible. So we've got 2 cars left on track in the form of Sasha Dickhouse, and I think this person's just given it up. So It's a Sasha Dickhouse show then for the last few seconds as he comes through the last few corners. He's currently up 0.4. He's in 13th place at the moment, so he's going to be looking for any little bit of improvement he possibly can. Of course, they say, though, Justin, that rain is the great equaliser, but it looks to me, with the exception of Sean Paul, who's had a fantastic great qualifying, it's a gold washout at the top.
Yeah.
Sasha goes over the line.
All right.
Puts himself into 9th. I think that's a really good lap time from Sasha there.
Yeah, I mean, everybody from about 5th all the way down to 14th, they're all within a second of each other. So, I mean, there's a lot to be done there.
That certainly is. So, guys, whilst we go and wait for the drivers to get themselves all set up, let's get in touch with our wonderful sponsors, and we'll see you straight back after here for the beginning of round 5 at the Hungaroring. A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specialising in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more. Alright, welcome back, and just a reminder for everybody at home, if you enjoy our commentary, if you enjoy watching Division 6, it's a massive favour to us. Down below. But whilst you guys do that, we will rattle on and try and work our way through the lineup for the race. So, in the lead then, on pole position, we have Garrett Law. And in second place, we have Mark DC from Boatley Busters Racing. In third place, Glenn Jacobs with a really great qualifying session. And fourth place, Juicy Jake. In fifth place, Daniel Beckstead. Another fantastic qualifying session for him. In sixth, with another good quality, Sean Paul. The only silver driver. In seventh, Dylan Bonsall. In eighth, Tim Parkinson. In ninth place, Sasha Dickhouse. In 10th, Cleveland Leatherwood. In 11th, Cameron Hastings. In 12th, Andrew Hopkins. In 13th, Cardboard Smith. In 14th, Brad Bertram. In 15th, Dick Zipperburn Sr. In 16th, Pookie. In 17th, Havoc Garzosi. In 18th, John May. In 19th, Akuna Matata. 20th, Thomas Kiss. 21st, Mike Ferrero. 22nd, Max Yang. 23rd, Sean Keenan. And we're not going to have enough time. We've got to go to the front. Justin, I take it. I give it over to you. Oh, no, wait. This is fine. We're in sector 3.
I was going to say, we're in sector 3.
I was looking at the mini-map. I was like, oh, yeah, they're coming around the final corner. Anyway, Sean Keenan in 23rd. Jeremy Rann in 24th. Peter Pan in 25th. Matthew Hopkins in 26th. Mike Cook in 27th. And bringing up the rear, Brian Acombe in 28th place. So, after that panic is over, let's go back to the front. Let's get on board with Garrett Law. Justin, talk us through it. Lead us into this first lap. But what are we looking for in this first lap from these drivers?
No T1 incident today, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to keep it nice and clean. We are going to keep it fantastic racing. I mean, it's pretty much as standard as it needs to be. It is coming down in rain. It's just going to get even more wet. And as we approach the start-finish line, we are just about time to go green for round 5 at Hungaroring. And oh my, Garrett has had a great start. And Mark DC has had a terrible start.
Oh, there's carnage.
But is there carnage in the back? Oh man, that's all right. Oh, it's not all right. Oh no.
A little bit of contact with Akuna Matata, I believe.
Oh, all right. So that's fine. We'll come back and take a look at that in a second. But as the leaders come out, it looks like Glenn.
No,
no, that's Garrett Loeb. But I'm saying, I think that's Glenn Jacobs that is overtaken, and Mark DC is falling back to 3rd. But they're coming in side by side here. Come a little,
it's going to be a track
little wide, but that's okay. Yeah. Oh, and he just completely slows down to force Mark DC out there wide. But
there's been carnage further back. We will get back and check it all over. We're just going to see as
Mark
DC gets rear-ended into the chicane. He should save that. He does.
Yeah, he does. I mean, there's yellows all over the map right now, but we'll come back and take a look at that. But it, Garrett Lorp is going out there to take a little bit of ground. He has gone away with it because everybody else is back there fighting, but that's all right. Mark DC, consistency. He knows how it feels to be in certain positions. Second place is no stranger to him. So as we are starting to go into the final 2 turns here, it looks like it's going to be Glenn Jacobs to finish the first lap starting. As I see more yellows pop up.
So let's go ahead then.
Let's take a look, yeah?
These guys look pretty well established. So let's go back and take a quick look. We're on board now with Dick Zipperburn Sr. Got an absolute maelstrom of cars behind him and in front of him. The Porsches make contact there with the McLaren. And the McLaren spins. Dick Zipperburn's got nowhere to go. Gets rear-ended. It is a chain effect. Pookie involved as well, but looks like he comes out of it relatively clean. And then a few laps, a few corners further on. Oh, so this is the contact in between. We've already seen this. My apologies.
That's Mark DC and Glenn Jacobs.
Certainly is, yeah. There was more drama. Let's go ahead and quickly check on the leaders. It's as we expected at the moment. No massive great bits of drama. But let's go ahead and see. This is on board then with... Oh my goodness. Let's go somewhere else. This is
no. That's a little bit farther back. Yeah, a little farther back. That's fine.
So let's see. Let's see what's happening here. I think it's just a close bit of racing. Yeah, just getting caught up maybe.
Oh, it's just a mix up. Yeah.
Alright, so... time being, and I can confirm that although there has been a few offs, like 674, there have not been any major contact in the time that we've been doing replay. So, not this again. Not me again.
Yeah,
Not
here
this
we
again.
go.
Please, no.
I mean, all I was gonna say, just from this angle, it looks like they're a little closer to each other. Oh, okay, CC.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
I'm not too sure what's going on with ACC there. Oh, Mike Barry's gone. That's what's happening. Mike Barry with Harvick Gazzosi.
Maybe there's yellows all over the behind it too. All right. I mean, maybe it was a connection issue there that's possibly resulted in that, but
So this then is Thomas Kiss, I believe. Now at the back. So let's see. So Mike Barry's there.
Oh. That's
no! What was that by Matthew Hopkins?
Oh.
Second again, just for afters.
All right. So the leader, Glenn Jacobs, here is just kind of pulled away.
He certainly is. So Mike Cook making the pass then on Peter Finpan. Does he get it? That was into turn 1. What happens here in turn 2? Peter Finpan thinks better of it. Does he? No, he finds himself down the inside. Mike Cook again thinking better of it, saying, look, you really want it that bad, you hold on to it. He'll come back. Let's go on board then a bit further up. We've got Juicy Jake trailing here. Garrett Law finding the grass, which is a dangerous game to play in the rain. Garrett Law with the fastest car on track at the moment. Peter Finpan then only 0.3 of a second off of the car ahead of him. So a bit of a 3-car train forming here. Oh no, we have disaster. Garrett Law is off. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what happened with Garrett Law. So he's absolutely fine here. Is it a bit of a self-deletion? Yeah, it is. Just loses the traction going around that corner. And that is absolutely gut-wrenching there for Garrett Law. Finds himself back up into 8th place. So by no means is it over then for Garrett, especially with the pace that he's shown. As we see a car facing the wrong way. That's Peter Finpan. So that's Mike Cook making the pass at least on Peter Finpan. And I think Sean Paul is facing the wrong way as well going into the first corner. So Sean Paul, our silver classification driver who was up in 4th place, promptly finds himself down back into 7th place. There was contact between car 909 and 138. So who was that? Car 909. That's Matthew Hopkins. So let's quickly go back and see. Is that just what we saw earlier? No, this is a different incident. So Matthew Hopkins, Harvick Gazzosi not far behind him, making up all the difference. Harvick Gazzosi looking down the inside then, not level with Matthew Hopkins. And yeah, Harvick Gazzosi just runs out of space there, as we warned about. And the result is Hopkins facing the wrong way. We've got a slow Dick Zipperburn Sr. as well. Let's go back and have a look and see what happened with Dick Zipperburn.
It looked like he was just kind of letting them through like it was a blue flag, but I
think he's saying things. Oh, he's just...
Oh, yeah, and that's massive damage to the front, yeah.
So, as we expected then, a few driver incidents, but what we do have over at the front here is a fantastic competition between Glenn Jacobs, Mark DC, Juicy Jake not too far behind, and Cameron Hastings is well up there in 5th place, buoyed on by his brand new livery. This is a season best result so far for Cameron. We'll see what he can make of this. Mark DC...
Mark DC has settled in, it looks like, and then just gaining that ground. I mean, he's pulled away from Juicy Jake significantly, but Glenn Jacobs isn't getting far out of his reach.
No, absolutely not. So we'll go on board then with Max Yang. So Max just making the move. That's Garrett Law, I believe. So, where is it? I think he's lapped. Oh, that's right. So he's come out of the pit. So he's repaired for damage, and he's coming out of the pits. But unfortunately for him, he has come out in the melee of the leading pack. So he has just got to move out the way as we go on board then with Sean Keenan. Oh no, and that is Tim Parkinson looking the wrong way, or looking straight into the barrier. So that was Tim Parkinson. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what happened to Tim. So going into turn one way too fast. I think he's missed his braking point and just taking himself out of contention a little bit there with that easy mistake. We go on board with Sasha Dickhouse, who finds themselves in the middle of a little train at the moment. Garrett Law not too far ahead of him, and then Cleveland Leatherwood, Akuna Matata not far behind him either. Akuna Matata doing fantastic. Again, really, a season best up into 11th at the moment, I think. So really doing well for him. And it's again one of those tracks where he's just got to keep it on the track. Got to keep it consistent. Avoid the melee of cars to the left and to the right as he drives past, and just collect the points as he goes.
Yeah, as much as we the top two have kind of taken off, and again, Glenn Jacobs has started to pull away from RTC. The rest of the field is honestly kind of split out. I mean, everybody's within, everybody's not really close to each other. I mean, this battle seems to be one of the closest ones here between Cleveland, Leatherwood. Oh, not even, because this is just Max Vane being blue flagged, but really spread out amongst everybody here. So.
Yeah, and I think as well, let's keep an eye on our early pitters, because certainly as well in the wet conditions, those tires can go on for a while. So
Hopkins has got to stop and go 30.
Yeah, so he got that in the pit lane, which is devastating for Matthew. Get that served, get back out, because again, you never know what's going to happen with all of this. Dixon Senior then losing out the position to Thomas Kiss, and the reason that we're bringing up this battle at the back is because these guys have all done their pits. So assuming they can get out of each other's way and actually put down some really good laps, there's a real good chance of progression for all of them as they go through. Having said that, we join Cameron Hastings facing the wrong way, waiting for a period to come out. He picks one and way safely, so lost a couple of positions there from where he was. Let's go back and take a look, see what happened then to Cameron to cause him facing the wrong way. Is it a self-delete? It certainly is. Hits that curb.
Yeah, those curbs are a nightmare. You do not want to touch them on certain things. Oh.
And this is back on board with Pookie then, who I believe has just made an overtake on Mike Cook, or I think Mike Cook might be trying to overtake him.
I mean, being in 12th after the carnage of being mixed up and all that stuff in the beginning, I mean, it looks like his front and his back has definitely got some damage to it. But, I mean, yeah, he's leaving that door wide open for Cook to just kind of...
Well, he does, but
maybe...
Cook overcooks it, and
beautiful.
Yeah, over and under. Now what's Cook going to do? He's going to have to look down the inside, but it is a difficult position to look down the inside. There's no overlap, so he's not entitled to it. Cookie then trying to just maintain his own racing line, goes a bit wide on the exit. Mike Cook's got to be careful here, ends up cutting, looks fine. Cookie taking down the inside. This is the left-hand corner they're coming up to now. And I think there's some great racing there by Pookie and some really respectful racing by Mike Cook as well.
I mean, yeah, this might be a really good battle to be keeping your eyes on here for the rest of this race. They might be going back and forth with each other. I mean,
oh no!
Hey.
Okay, but it's into the chicane.
That's fine.
Pookie recovers.
Yeah.
That's all good. That's fine.
Keeping it really aggressive. You gotta be careful. It's like deja vu. It's exactly what happened to me yesterday.
Okay, so that's given those two a little bit of breathing room. We'll see if Mike Cook can close that up then back on Pookie. Let's go towards the front where Dylan Bonsall trying to track down Juicy Jake, who isn't making any progress or impression on Mark DC, sliding back. So Dylan's going to have to say, and didn't we say this? I mean, Mark DC, Juicy Jake, Dylan Bonsall, and Sean Paul were all our picks, I think, at the beginning of the session. Let's quickly go on board here. What is happening here? Akuna Matata and Daniel Beckstead fighting it out by the looks of it. They changed positions a couple of times. Daniel Beckstead then making the most of it and taking the lead as they come down the start-finish straight into turn 1. That's Cleveland Leatherwood up ahead. Does look like Daniel Beckstead's car has seen better days on the front end there. Mark DC really closed up the gap now on the leader. So this is the fight for first place between the ever so consistent Mark DC, the very fast Glenn Jacobs. And these two have just been trading lap times consistently since the beginning of the race. So really interested to see what they do there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's extremely strange. And I mean, it's going to happen a lot tonight where, you know, you see that gap kind of disappear a little bit into, you know, you're like, oh man, he's pulled away 1.2. But again, it's just staying consistent. And I mean, perfectly right there. I mean, Mark DC was, you know, 0.6 going into the last sector, and now he's down 1.1. It's just keeping that consistency and grinding it out. I mean, that position in front of you, you know, may seem like it's far away, but one little mess up and you know, it can change from being, you know, a 1 second to, you know, you're right on top of them with 0.2.
Exactly. Let's take a quick look then as well. And it's worth noting, whilst Mike Cook continues to try and chase down Pookie again, Mike Cook then, he did have a qualifying ban at the start of this race. So he started, can you believe it, in 27th place. And he is up to 12th place already. And not far behind him, the same similar story for Brian Acombe starting 28th place. As what's happened here? Daniel Beckstead facing the wrong way. Let's quickly go ahead and find out what has happened to Daniel Beckstead. And Pookie as well with the yellow flag. So we'll go ahead and try and have a look and see what's happened there.
That
Both
curve
of them
again.
Teammates as well, so not a great situation for either of them. As Jordan, Pookie slides, absolutely gone. So Mike Cook making up the place in the end then, as we go on board with Cardboard Smith, trying to make some sort of an impression on Sean Keenan, trying to goad him into a defensive position. Sean Keenan says, no thank you, I'm not interested. You can try and overtake me properly. Mike Cook really then up close behind as well. Akuna Matata a bit further up the track. Looks to try and make the move work. This is a dangerous
This is
place.
not where you want to be.
Ooh,
I mean,
one way of doing it.
yeah, that's not where you're trying to be, and then you got to be careful because, you know, you're coming out with so much more speed than the car in front of you. You don't want to have the same incident that just happened a couple minutes ago where you're just hitting Pookie in the back end of the car, but
It seems like
lets off a little bit.
Ooh, Akuna Matata, a little bit of a wobble. Is he going to try and do it on the inside? Akuna Matata being sensible, giving the space. Mike Cook then. Ooh.
See, you just got so much speed and you just don't know. You don't have that kind of traction to just brake, and you know you're gonna slide still with it.
Yeah.
Mike Cook is just a little dangerous game right here, trying to. Oh gosh, it's just thanks to Corsa.
Yeah, free advertising.
But yeah, again, you know.
Oh, he makes a
the
position.
auto just goes wide. Yeah. All right. I mean,
That's 27th to 10th place now for Mike Cook. He's 8.6 seconds behind Cleveland Leatherwood. Let's see if he really means to finish on the podium tonight. I mean, that would be a fantastic drive, and he's got 42 minutes left to do it. No reason why not.
I was gonna say the relatives board on the left is a little messed up. I was like, Akuna Matata's 1 lap down. Why is he? I'm confused on the position, but it's just ACC being ACC.
Just ACC being ACC. As we go on board then with Matthew Hopkins with the yellow
Oof.
flags waving. Yeah, touch that
Yeah.
grass.
Oh, hold your
Does he hold
brakes.
the brakes. Hold him, just hold him, just hold him. Don't move.
Oh no.
I think he did. I want to say he did. I want to say is Cameron Hastings then losing a lot of laps down there. I'm not too sure what happened with Cameron, but you know what? We can go back and have a look. Cameron Hastings got 139 going into turn 2 then. Does he do a similar thing then to Matthew Hopkins? So it goes past Matthew, but then he go. Oh,
Yeah. I've done that a couple times this week too.
That AstroTurf is not the place to be. So this is teammate on teammate action then. Let's get on board with Daniel Beckstead and Pookie up ahead of him. Daniel Beckstead's car still not looking great. What do you do here as a teammate? Do you hold off Peter Pan, who's also a fast driver, which it looks like he's trying to do to the best of his ability as he gets a bit of a bad exit off the traction. Peter Pan taking the outside.
Oh my goodness. Man,
Great.
that man's flying past the holy moly.
Matthew Hopkins up ahead of Pookie, then getting out the way, not wanting to get in the way, but Peter Pan now, he is clear to go. Is somebody else clear up ahead? This is Sean Keenan then with Brian Acombe not far ahead of him. It's a three-way battle, only 2 cars really in it. The third car is a lapped car as they come through the start-finish now, so it is going to be a stretch now onto the start-finish straight. Let's see what happens. Now, one thing I have just noticed, and I will check. Oh no, Glenn Jacobs is pit. So there's not been any mass disaster from Glenn Jacobs. He has just. Has he just pitted? No, we missed it.
Oh.
This is Glenn Jacobs. He's absolutely stacked it. I can't believe it.
That's. Oh yeah, that hood is no bueno. Oh.
That is a disaster for Glenn Jacobs. I'm so sorry to see it. Oh my goodness. Right, well, that is Mark DC then doing what he does best and just keeping that nose clean. And once again, he's at the beginning. Cardboard Smith, though, this is an absolute melee down here. All these cars in a train. Sean Keenan, I believe, leading this train. All of them fighting for position here. So let's go ahead and see. We've got Pookie just behind Cardboard. We've got Brian Acombe in there. We've got Sean Keenan in there. We've got Akuna Matata just a little bit up the way as well. The BMW is Andrew Hopkinson, Hopkins, who is lapped, so he's not part of the equation at this point. As we go on board with Sasha Dickhouse trying to make a move then on Cleveland Leatherwood. Porsche on Porsche action.
Gonna say it's like almost identical of the same. If you far away, they look like the same exact car, but it is different.
It certainly is different. And Sasha Dickhouse, has he made the move? He certainly has. As Cleveland Leatherwood files in behind as well, and we go on board with Juicy Jake. Juicy Jake then with the yellow flag. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Turn 1.
I mean, maybe just touches the grass too much coming in.
Tries to cut it, then runs wide. Is it the running wide? It's the
running
wide.
It's because it's running wide. Yeah.
It's the AstroTurf.
Stay off the curbs.
He doesn't lose. He doesn't lose a lot of places, but that does put him down into 4th place with a bit of damage on board as well. So he's the good thing for him though. You're pretty much in the window now of pitting. So. You know, he's going to obviously have a bit of repair time, but it's not. I mean, he's got a lot of repair time to stay in that front room.
I was going to say, I don't know, man.
yeah, exactly. Brian Acombe still all over the backside there. You just see them go through with Sean Keenan going through the very technical and very flowy sector 2. Going to benefit Sean Keenan better than it is, in the Porsche than Acombe in the Bentley. But having said that, you know, talent is a big factor here. Let's see what these guys can do. Brian's sticking all over the backside of that Porsche.
I believe that somebody else has a stop and go.
Oh! And what has happened there?
I think I think Cleveland. Was that Cleveland Leatherwood? I believe.
No,
Just
so this is
loses
Sean
it.
Keenan and Brian
Oh,
Akins.
Sean Keenan.
We'll just go back and
yeah.
revisit exactly what happened. So
Just
Sean
loses it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Turns
but,
out
curbs,
it's
man.
unfortunate. Curbs are claiming souls tonight, Justin.
Yep.
You know who else is claiming souls? Mike Cook. He's up to 6th place now. He's on an absolute storm. He's up 21 places now, albeit there are a couple of hits. That's Pookie with the drive-through.
You know, we tried to tell him all week about those spots on the track to not go by, and now he's got to bite the dust. Gotta be more cautious, man. Cautious.
More cautious, I think, on track is what's needed there. And especially, I mean, we didn't really touch upon his involvement in lap 1 and what looked like a bit of a lack of caution in my eyes. But he did manage to make it through. He's now serving his drive-through. Again, not the end of the world. Still an opportunity to make moves. As Sean Keenan trying to fight back against Peter Pan. But I don't think there's anything doing as we go through a little period now. So this is Jordan Dana.
You gotta stop and go for speeding in pit lane now.
Goodness, Bookie. And that is a lack of caution in the pit lane. Mike Farrow joining the same ranks. So Mike Farrow, not a slow driver by any means. You know,
And we have a DQ. What is happening?
Disqualified John Mayer. I can only assume a meatball disqualification.
I mean, either that or maybe he didn't serve a drive-through and we just didn't notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neither one. All right.
So Jean Mayer getting the drive. So let's just see. No, nothing comes up.
Also, yeah, we have Core Jayco in the chat talking about how many will remember to select change tires during their pit stop. That is a good question. I hope that everybody in D6 remembers that they have to click and check off to change tires because it's not defaulted for wets.
It certainly is not. Oh no, you know what? As Cameron Hastings goes into the pits, we've got Mark DC then. Still up in front, not looking to pit on this lap, looking to carry it on and go further as he can. He's in a pretty comfortable position.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I'm in his position, I'm going until I feel a little bit of whatever my tires can do.
Yeah. So we're on board then with Dick Zipperburn and what looks like Harvick Gazosi up ahead, I believe. Car 138.
Oh, just too much speed.
A disaster is what that is.
Good sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Those 2 a.m. days are getting to you now, yeah?
They certainly are. 6 weeks out of the 8 until I can get a good night's sleep again.
But I mean, until now, it looks like I'm not really sure about Garrett Lorp and Glenn Jacobs here. I mean, their start. I mean, I don't know if it's just maybe ACC is just doing ACC things again, but I mean, Glenn Jacobs fallen significantly behind to Garrett Lorp, which we didn't see anything in particular.
Well, it's probably from the pit, right? It's probably from his damage.
Oh, yeah, that does make sense.
Having to repair that damage, he's gonna fall back. So that wasn't any small amount. Cookie in the chat then, whilst he serves his drive-through, he's saying 1 kph over. Now I'm just gonna say,
did you check your tires, sir? Is the most important thing because you've pitted 3 times and you still have a 1. Pookie, get it together.
Cookie then not realizing he has to check the tires box in order to actually change the tires. It's not going to be a good race for Pookie. I hope he hasn't got very many people watching. This would be the time, probably, if you're not interested in the rest of the race, which you'd be crazy not to be, because Mike Cook is up to 4th place after starting in 27th position. So you'd be crazy to turn off if you were a Pookie fan. Stay here for the motor racing. Dylan Bonsal's having a great start, a great race so far as well. Had a great first half, started 7th, up 5 places into 2nd place. Brian Acone, who, you know, has had a very, very difficult season so far in terms of falling foul to a couple of incidents, is on a bit of a redemption arc, which I think is awesome to see. I'm going to come off of Brian Acone now because I don't want to jinx him. But we got Peter Pan as well, up from 25th place into 7th place, and that really, the top 7 are all gainers, so they have all gained at least 1 position. So that's Peter Pan, Brian Acone, Makuna Matata, who's having a fantastic race as Mike Cook then decides to come. Now is the time to come into the pits. Juicy Jake in 3rd place, Dylan Bonson in 2nd place, and Mark DC in 3rd. As it also looks like Pookie's finally got the message and is going to pit Justin to sort out his tyres.
Let's hope so.
So let's go on board then with the Kuna Matata. Takes himself, hasn't pit yet, so the position's a bit inflated. Having said that, still, he's had a fantastic race so far, it's got to be said. Absolutely fantastic. I'm trying to see who the biggest loser is so far. I think it's Tim Parkinson, who we saw had a massive incident going through turn 1. So that's no surprise there that he's fallen a fair bit down, because that would have taken a bit of repair to do.
My question is, where does everybody lie post some of these pit stops from the top?
Yeah, it's tricky. So at the moment, for example, Garrett Lorp is actually looking like he could come out into 3rd place if he keeps up this pace. It's kind of between 3rd and 4th at the moment, even though he does sit in well, what it says on the board, 9th, but I think he's actually 6th. If we take a look then at Pookie, where is he?
Almost just slid off the track.
So Pookie's now down into 24th place. Brian Acombe coming out of the pits. He's coming out into 11th place. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. And a close 11th place. Sorry, close to 12th place.
I'm just looking at the map and I'm trying to see where. So Mark DC is pitted.
So here's the interesting thing. Mark DC at the moment looks as if he is going to come out into 2nd place.
Yeah, to say going in first and then coming out 2nd should ideally be. I mean, unless Juicy Jake is a little bit.
Let's try and get an understanding of this now. So Juicy Jake is in 3rd. I think by the time Dylan pits, he should be coming into 2nd. My prediction system is saying that it's still Dylan. Oh, it's close between Dylan Bonson and Mark DC, depending on their pace. I think it's actually quite close. Oh, it certainly is close.
Yeah, it's really close.
All the time at the moment. So, oh, okay, no, that's fine. Akuna Matata, I thought made contact, but he did not.
I believe that's
sorry,
Cameron Hastings.
Oh,
right?
but somebody makes contact with Cameron Hastings. Cameron keeping it on.
It's gonna say his car was just like okay.
I think that was Garrett.
Oh, well, this just makes it even more difficult because now Dylan Bonsal's gonna come pit.
So let's go on board with Mark DC. Yeah, let's go on board with Mark DC. Let's stay on him for a little while. Let's see how he gets on as he comes around the track. Held up a little bit by Peter Pan in front of him. Now, I believe, yeah. So
I mean, this is technically for position, so he does not have to let him pass.
No.
If you're Mark DC, this is not what you're trying to come out to. You're hoping that Peter Pan is going to pit on this lap so that you can get the full extension. But I mean, this might actually really hurt him. This is definitely not what you're looking for.
Especially since his teammate, Peter Pan's teammate, is the one that's trying to get the position. So, you know, let's see if team orders are playing into account here. Let's see. No, Peter Pan's coming in. He's releasing the Mark DC. But the question is, where's Mark DC going to come out? So let's get on board with Dylan Bonsall then, who is coming
he's gonna
out
make
of
it.
the pit.
Or it might be really close. Oh no, he's gonna get him.
Maybe
Maybe not.
I don't know. I'm trying to see.
I mean, they might be coming.
Oh, that's close.
Yeah.
Almost had him. Almost had him. But we are on between these.
Oh,
two.
Juicy Jake's gonna stop and go.
He certainly has. Stop and go 30. So that is pretty much taken him out of contention for the podium, you'd have to say at this point.
And I think the worst part is too is that if he did pit, he didn't change his tires either.
Oh man.
Which means that you gotta serve your stop and go and change your tires. Ugh.
Oh, well that is game over then. Somebody who's certainly not game over. I think by the end of this, my algorithm is saying that Mike Cook is actually in provisional 5th place at the moment. So that's what it reckons on the system. Sean Paul, it reckons, is provisional 4th. Garrett Law 3rd, which is, to be honest, if that's true, Garrett Law has had an awesome fight back from the sort of early disaster that he had. So, you know, kudos to him. Glenn Jacobs then coming out into 12th. Akuna Matata still really doing a fantastic drive here. Should be, when it's all said and done, Akuna Matata should be coming out into 9th place, which is an awesome position for him. Let's go on board with Daniel Bexer then, fighting with Harvick Gazosi, makes the pass. It's all very slow-mo according to the triple stint helicam, but it makes the pass work anyway. Everyone else is a little bit spread out at the moment, so as they're going into the pits, as they're sorting themselves out, as they're taking stock, everyone is a little bit spread out at the moment.
Yep, and there goes Juicy Jake to either change tires or take a stop and go 30. But yeah, that's a very unfortunate way to have your race.
So this is Matthew Hopkins then. Looks like again he was facing the wrong way, touches the grass there, never gets the braking. Goes into the trap, into turn 6, has to wait for Pookie to go by, and then comes back into the trap.
Is this who is that?
So that's Jeremy
yeah.
Ran at the moment. He's moving out the way for Mike Cook. It's not a competition between the two. So yeah, Mike Cook coming through there. And then we go on board then with Cardboard Smith, who we haven't seen a lot of today. He obviously had that earlier issue with, and I see the cameras are going crazy again. As it looks like Juicy Jake coming out, Glenn Jacobs just ahead of him. So Juicy Jake coming out into 13th place then, after serving after serving the stop and go, still is yet to pit. But having said that, a full lap is only a full pit is only about 50 seconds. So as it stands, Juicy Jake might not lose a whole lot of lap time. Let me just take a quick look at this. I think he'll come out into about 19th place once he's done his actual pit. 17th, I think. This is a battle for position though. Cleveland Leatherwood and Cameron Hastings. Hastings making the pass as somebody in the background takes a scenic route.
That was Cardboard Smith, I believe.
No, that's Akuna Matata. Cardboard Smith close up behind him now though. Let's go ahead and have a look. smelling blood in the water, in the much water. So that's Hakuna Matata putting the pressure then onto Cleveland Leatherwood up ahead. So Cardboard Smith maybe just going to hang back, see how these two decide to hash it out amongst one another. And Hakuna Matata has just been absolutely reawakened in the second half of this. Oh no, is Hakuna Matata? I jinxed him. That's my fault. Loses to the back end. Cardboard Smith comes through then to claim 9th place. So Cardboard Smith up 4 places from the start, which is impressive considering, again, the lap 1 disaster for him.
Well, a little bit wide there, but
we're back on board. So Garrett Lorp, actually, considering Garrett Lorp started in 1st place, had that big off, has actually found his way back up into 3rd place. So it's only a 2-place deficit then. Let's take a quick look at the numbers here. So while we do that, we'll go on board with Cardboard Smith, chasing down Hakuna Matata, chasing down Sasha Dickhouse, with Glenn Jacobs in tow as well of Cardboard Smith. So Garrett Law is 15 seconds right now behind Dylan Bonsall, who's 2 seconds behind Mark DC. The fastest car on track at the moment is actually Mike Cook with a 1:53.795, and the only person to come anywhere near that is Garrett Law. So Mike Cook and Garrett Law, as Smith gets a bit wiggly.
Who was that? Who just went off? I mean, he might have been a little weak, but that's definitely not though.
That's definitely. No, so that's Juicy Jake and Peter Finpan having a nice pit there. I don't know is the question, Justin. I do not know. Car 713. So that's Glenn Jacobs. Had a little bit of one, but it hasn't seemed like it's affected him that much. Garrett Lorp then is on another tear. This will be the fastest lap of the session at the moment if he can keep it together through the second half of the lap. Mike Cook then still the fastest car out on track at the moment with a 1:53.7. Car 689. So who's car 689? That is Mike Farrow. He's really struggling in these conditions. He's 5 laps down now at the moment. But we know he's got pace. So you know what? Just pick yourself up after this week and carry on. This is Juicy Jake then chasing down Thomas Kiss. This is gold versus silver classification. And just a bit further up there is Disaster. What has happened there? That's Brian. That's Brian. Come on, Brian. Get back on it. You're okay. 12th place, that is. So you've only lost out 3 positions. That's not terrible. So keep it going. Let's just have a look and see what has happened here. So side by side going up into a corner that does not like side by side action. Makes it through okay. So what's it? Oh, he's touched the car. And that's a lot. And he's
my goodness.
And if you're Glenn Jacobs, you're thanking somebody up there. Sasha Dickhouse losing out then to Glenn Jacobs, even with that damage on the front of his car. Still making some really positive moves. Garrett Lorp moving up a little bit, not as much as I expected given his last lap time. To put it into perspective, Garrett Lorp and Mike Cook are lapping. Well, Garrett Lorp's lapping about a second faster than Mark DC at this point, and Mike Cook is about half a second faster than the leader. So both of those cars making absolute moves up the inside. Let's go back on board with Brian Aiken, then chasing down Sasha Dickhouse. The bonnet or the hood struggling to stay on the car at this point.
Got to keep it on the track at this point. Approaching 15 minutes left. Everybody here just kind of settle in, and if you see that position to take that's easily accessible, go ahead and go for it, but you don't want to do anything here that's going to compromise you sliding off.
Speaking of sliding off, Cameron Hastings.
Don't tell me, Cameron, this better not be the same spot. Oh no, he made it.
He just brakes. He just brakes very hard to keep that on. I think he recognised what was happening. As we go on board then with Glenn Jacobs, let's see what Glenn can do.
Oh, Sasha Dickhouse has a drive-through. That's gonna.
We said
hurt.
it would be a factor. We said it would be a factor, and it certainly has been a factor tonight.
I mean,
oh, it's a big move down the inside of Cardboard Smith there. That's not going to stick.
Good job by Cardboard Smith to being able to notice that and just let it slide right in front of him.
We love to see it. We do love to see it. Let's go on board then with Juicy Jake still trying to chase down Thomas Kiss. So Thomas Silver versus Juicy Jake of the gold. Thomas has given a great account of himself then. Race may not have gone the way he wanted. The cars, we've had Matthew Hopkins has done 6 pit stops. Mike Farrow 4 pit stops. Max Yang and Pookie have done 3, along with Peter Pan and Juicy Jake on 3 pit. The rest of the division have only pitted once. So to actually be where Juicy Jake is, ahead of some of the drivers that have only done 1 pit stop, just shows he does have that pace. He just hasn't had the luck that he's needed as he tries then to go around the outside. Nothing doing. Thomas Kiss getting a great move on through the inside. Can he hold it together now with that extra speed? He doesn't and goes wide, avoids the track cut, but that will give the position to Juicy Jake holding the inside as we get another drive through for Brian Acombe. Brian Acombe has got himself a drive through. That is a disaster for somebody who's had such a fantastic race so far. That's going to undo a lot of his hard work. Probably put him back into about 18th, 17th position. We hate to see it. Garrett Lorp, his chase of Dylan Bonser was sort of stalled. Garrett Lorp must have gone off in a couple of places because he is back up now to 15.5 seconds behind. This is Mike Cook, 1.5 seconds. So you see Sean Paul at just up ahead of him now. So Mike Cook still on a tear, currently up 22 places from 27th to 5th. And let's see what he can do in the last 13 minutes of this race, as he certainly looks like he's hunting down Sean Paul.
I mean, it looks like he's had a great exit there. I mean, I just wonder how many cuts that he's had throughout this race and where he possibly could be there. I mean, we're getting into this factor now where drive-throughs the last 10 minutes may be popping up like wildfire.
Certainly is. The Hopkins brothers tonight is not gone their way. Both of them have struggled. Even Andrew, race winner this season. So again, no slouch, knows his way around a racing wheel. Really just both of them out there struggling so far. His brother Matthew down in 26th place in the pits at the moment for what will be his 7th pit stop, if indeed he does come back out. A bit further up then we have Cardboard Smith chasing down Glenn Jacobs, so about 1 second behind his opponent up ahead. And then just a bit further up, Mike Cook still trying to chase down Sean Paul for what would be a fantastic lap. Sean Paul then 13 seconds to Garrett Lorp. So I don't know how fast Mike Cook is, how fast he can be, but that will be an impressive feat if he can close up the distance between himself and Dylan Bonsall. The only thing, himself and Garrett Lorp. The only thing I would say is Mike Cook, even with traffic, is lapping almost a second faster than Garrett Lorp. So it's certainly not impossible. probably has to be a bit better than a second per lap.
Gotta get through Sean Paul first.
Certainly does. Sean Paul goes a little bit wide. It's going to give him a good exit though, so that should keep him where he needs to be. And he'll also be going into sector 2 now, which you've got to think, based on the cars, is probably a better sector if you're in the Ferrari.
Oh, and yeah, that is unfortunate. Oh, Sean,
Sean.
careful.
Now, this is going to be interesting. He's carrying a lot less speed than the cars behind him, but they don't end up catching him. So that's Mike Cook up into 4th place then. 13 seconds down on Garrett Lort. So, you know, it's a tall order. It's a tall order. Let's go on board with one of the cars that we haven't seen very much of at all today, and that is Havit Gazzosi. Havit, he's had an interesting race. He's up 4 places. It's been quite a quiet one from him, but a successful one nonetheless. Started in 17th, up to 13th place, just behind Brian Acombe, just ahead of Sean Keenan then. And, you know, still only 2 seconds off of Brian Acombe. There's still potential there. As Garrett Lorp has had a disaster. He has had a disaster and made contact with the worst part of the track. He's gone onto the grass here. He's facing the wrong way on the last corner, reverses to get out of the way as the car coming through, tries to go into the pit lane and hits the pit lane wall. In fact, it doesn't look like he was trying. So that is Mike Cook, ladies and gentlemen, who has had a phenomenal race, and things have gone his way. Started with a qualifying ban, has had a difficult season up till now, and he has gone from 27th position to 3rd with only 30 seconds. Okay, I say only 30 seconds. 30 seconds might be the limit for Mike Cook. But
I mean, we said it just
race.
a couple sessions ago for Garrett Lorp, and I mean, look what happened. I mean,
True, very true.
Dylan, you gotta hold it together, man. If not, there's gonna be a fast car behind you looking to take that spot.
He's not messing around. I tell you, somebody's going to need to wring out that gaming chair of Mike Cook's at the end of this. He's going to need to just, you know, mop up, I think, the rig, put it out to air, I think, tomorrow, because that is going to be one sweaty racing seat. Just for those that needed that graphic image in their head. Yeah, I mean, look, again, really. Oh no. Okay, no, that's fine. I saw a Dick Zipperburn Sr. gets a drive-through for track limits. We did say, Justin, it's the tail end of this race where those track limits start to worry a couple of people.
Someone just went off there.
Yeah, that was Cleve. No, it wasn't. No.
Was that Parkinson? Or maybe it was Yang.
I think it was Yang, yeah.
Max, you need to pit. Oh, and Max Yang has pitted twice. Just, I guess he might have forgotten to click the tires button, and
he's actually pitted 3 times so far in this race. So
oh, my count says 2, but
I think my count includes drive-throughs. Yours might not, but yeah, he's certainly been through the pit lane 3 times at least anyway. Same as Pookie, who had a fantastic race up until just a lack of caution. Ended up seeing him getting a track cut warning, too many, as we go on board with Dick Zipperburn Sr., who has made a
just served this drive-through.
Oh, served the drive-through. Right. Comes out just ahead of Daniel Beckstead there. Mike Cook doing what he can. I mean, he's putting himself in the best position here. He's down to 27 seconds, so there's a big gain. I think Dylan Bonsall having a few issues on that last lap. Sean Paul sort of seizing on the opportunity of the damaged car ahead, trying to make up some moves. Now, Thomas Kiss is off. We'll go back and have a look at that. I don't think Sean's getting any closer. So let's go ahead and see just what happened to Thomas Kiss, who was having a really good race up until now. So it comes through the chicane, enters into the very rhythmic part of Sector 2, and just loses it. Just loses it. So Daniel Beckstead then making the pass on Hakuna Matata, trying to also make the pass, it looks then, on... oh no, he's let them both by. So this is Hakuna Matata versus Daniel Beckstead. I think both of them competing for what might be the best finish of the season so far. So it's all to play for, even though it is only for 10th place, especially if you're Hakuna Matata, because there's a lot of silver drivers like Travis Fletcher, who we talked about at the beginning, who hasn't been able to make it today to the race. So for Sean Paul, for Hakuna Matata, for Peter Pan, Thomas Kiss, Jeremy Rand, and Pookie, this is all an opportunity to get some very valuable points. And because there are only 26 cars out on track, you're going to get points. You're going to get good points. As car 909, that's Matthew Hopkins, completes a drive-through for the 8th time in a row, or 8th pit lane entry anyway, as Sasha Dickhouse tries to make the move then on Sean Keenan. Sean Keenan being forced out wide, Sasha Dickhouse taking the inside lane. Now Sean Keenan is going to have the better drive out. Now let's see what happens between these two cars. Who got the better exit? It was Sasha Dickhouse, but Sean Keenan immediately switching to the offensive down the inside with what looks like to be a bit of a damaged Porsche. That's probably what suffered, made his top end suffer a little bit. So that looks like a pass, I think. Does he hold it together coming into turn 2? Yeah, it certainly does. So that looks like that's a pass then for Sasha Dickhouse to go up into 14th position. We've got a Cameron Hastings that's just lost a position out to Glenn Jacobs. Glenn Jacobs once again on another tear through. Obviously was leading, had a bit of a disaster at the beginning. And as we missed it, I do apologize for the fans watching Sean Paul, but Sean Paul making the move then eventually on Garrett Lorp. And Sean Paul, silver classification driver, has just said, hey, you know what, I like Hungaroring. Probably got some tips from the Cockcroft Academy. And he's had a fantastic race. He's up in 4th position, just off the podium places. He's about 12 seconds down on Mike Cook, which might be a bit of a tall order in the final closing moments. But again, like Mike has done all race, you just got to put yourself in a position.
And there goes somebody sliding off behind them.
So that is unfortunately Juicy Jake. Turn your eyes if you were trying to tune in to watch Juicy Jake. Go through turn 4, blind overhill, and hits. Oh, we've seen that so much tonight.
Oh,
and another. Yeah, that is Mike Farrow. I think just getting out the way. So Justin, we've had 58 minutes worth of racing. Talk us through it as we sum this all up. What has stood out to you? Who has stood out to you? How has the race gone overall in your mind?
I mean, from the very beginning, like I said, Mark DC, just consistency is key, and that is exactly what he has done all race and what he's done all season long, and there's a reason why he is up there in the top. You can't ask for a better drive again this week from Mark DC. And then the other side of it is Hook. Like, he cooking.
Hook is cooking.
He, you know, back of the grid, fighting through his, everybody to make it to a podium. I mean, what else could you say about this performance? It's been
And I think it
absolutely incredible.
It's awesome to see, because I know that Mike has been involved in quite a few incidents this season. Not really, I don't think, many of them of his own design. So I feel like this is vindication in a way, because coming into this season, I really thought that it would be a Mike Cook season, because he's got the pace, he's got the ability, really experienced driver, but again, just been on the wrong side of a few incidents. Now I know even if the incidents aren't your fault, there's still an element of, is there something you could have done to avoid that? But he's done that today. He's been involved in a couple of things, nothing too dramatic, nothing too crazy, like with Pookie, for example, that sort of thing. And actually, that just goes to show how quick he has been with, what must be some damage at some point in the race. Still putting in those lap times, still sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:54, pretty much dead. We're going to go on board and see what's happened then between Pookie and Gordon Beverly. Gordon Beverly. Big Zipperburn Senior. So this is going into turn 1. This is a positional thing, and Pookie is just
that's lack of caution right there.
That is lack of caution with the car ahead of him. But Justin, we'll go on board then as the clock strikes 0 on the penultimate lap for Mark DC, bringing it around sector 2 now. Oh no. Okay, that's fine. Right, that's fine. Yellow flag momentarily for Mike Cook, but he's kept it clean. It's okay. But yes,
we didn't talk about Sean Paul either. Sean Paul, fantastic drive today.
It's
not a podium spot, but I mean, you are a very, very, very great driver today when you needed it to be pretty much done. Just want to give you a shout out there, because as a silver driver myself, this is a fantastic drive. But yeah, Mark DC, beautiful. Another dub under the belt.
Under the belt.
Dylan Bonsall?
Yep, coming in second, which we love to see.
Yeah, I just, if Flicker just wanted to make sure, yeah, but then then we got Mike Cook. I mean, congratulations.
Another drive-through, by the way.
Mike Cook, 3rd place. Beautiful.
Absolutely.
He's happy with it. Go ahead. Throw it into the wall. Sean Paul going ahead and making his way up for finishing it in 4th. And then Garrett Lorp just catching him in the last lap. A couple more laps, he would have been able to maybe make a move. Cleveland Leatherwood going ahead and making it into 6th, and then Glenn Jacobs
race for Cleveland.
Yeah, I say Glenn Jacobs, awesome race as well. Unfortunately, he had a couple slides off to put him farther back, but no big deal. Go ahead and get back at it next week. Cameron Hastings, I have no idea how he ended up in 7th after doing a couple wall hits, but great finish there as well. Cardboard Smith, Daniel Beckstead, Akuda Matado. It just rounds off the top 10, and I mean, everybody pretty much from 5th all the way down to 10th have kind of had their own little incidents and still overcame and were able to finish the race in really good spots.
Guys, if you're still watching on YouTube, make sure you put in there who you think your driver of the day is, and we'll try and get them in for an interview.
As everybody starts to leave the server, but yeah, congratulations to everybody. If this was your first wet race as a D6 driver and you're watching,
keep it on.
But congratulations to anybody in D6 that if this was your first wet race, that you finished a wet race in ACC, and yeah, I'm sure you think that you'll never want to drive in the wet ever again, because it's exactly how I felt.
So let's queue up everything. Let me put a little message into the group. and get it all ready. Meanwhile, I mean, Justin, the wet racing delivered. It certainly wasn't a dry one that we feared it might be. There's always a 3% chance that it might happen. You know, it was a wet race. It was chaotic, as we expected it to be. These are tough conditions. It's a tough circuit for these tough conditions. You know, it was tough, but we've had some fantastic. What I love to see is, you know, we talked about being a great equalizer. You know, people do it all the time up and down in motor racing, and it really was here today. Yes, okay, the gold drivers kind of run away with it, with the exception of Sean Paul, but actually the gold drivers themselves were really mixed up, and I think a lot of people really surprised themselves and the fans at home with the performance that they did. So I think it was an awesome race. I think it was really mixed up. It was full of new names, full of heroic drives like from Mike Cook. And yeah, let's go ahead and see who we can drag into the chat. Let's have a look here. So let's go ahead. Let's talk first to our silver classification winner. That is Sean Paul. No affiliation, I believe, to the rapper, but let's go, or R&B artist. Let's go ahead and bring him into the chat. Sean Paul, you have been hijacked for the first time this season by the commentators. So you're in the commentary booth. You came fourth, but you came first in your silver classification. It was your best result of the season so far. Talk us through it, man. Where did that come from?
Well, good evening, Mr. Queasy. Pleasure to be here. I just had a lot of fun in the wet. I think it's like one of those great kind of like balancers, right? Like one of the balancing acts of the universe. Had an extra week there to practice, which didn't practice quite as much as I probably should have. Got sucked into some of that Suzuka multi-mayhem stuff, but yeah, just had fun with it. Finally starting to feel a little less like the first couple of weeks, my heart is just exploding out of my chest the entire time because I'm just so nervous about just everything, right? Like I overthink it all. But just finally starting to get a groove and get a feel for it. And I got my first direct drive wheel just before last race, and you know, got everything tweaked and feeling good about that. So yeah, it was a good one. It was fun.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely awesome. And yeah, you know, sometimes you have these wet weather specialists, so we'll see. Maybe Barcelona throws in a bit of rain to give you another chance, or maybe it doesn't. But it's glad that you got yourself sorted out. I think there's always teething things in the first season as you sort of understand and get to grips with how everything works and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, congratulations. You're getting kudos in the chat from a certain somebody. I'm sure you know who. So why don't you take the opportunity to go ahead, give a shout out to the people back at home, people who've been supporting you and helped you get to this point.
Oh, well, I mean, my main man, Ginger P. Cockcroft, is the one who got me into all this. You know, he would come down to Florida, visit me before you guys would all meet up at the big race in Daytona, and I was like, what is this sim stuff about, really? Like, this seems so like just kind of geeky, a little boring. Like, I just couldn't get into it watching it. But then you get a wheel. I got like this $100 secondhand wheel on Facebook, and I was like hooked just immediately. I was like, okay, now I get it. Now I see why you're, you know, spending all this time hanging out with these awesome people. So yeah, Cockcroft, my man, getting me into it, loving it. Otherwise, just everybody in the D6 crowd is awesome. My fellow race director, Mark DC, helping along the way, and yeah, it's just been a blast. Thanks, appreciate it.
That's awesome, man, and congratulations once again. I hope now we go on to Red Bull Ring. How are you finding Red Bull Ring? Have you had any practice on it yet, or you know, any experience on it? Zero
okay. Track time. I think maybe we had a practice race there before the season started, maybe, but that was like one night. Yeah. Otherwise, it'll be you know, a good week ahead of putting all the kids to bed. I got 4 kids, another one on the way. I don't get a lot of time to sim race, but once I get them all to bed, it's my time. So that's you'll see me on for the next week practicing.
Good on you, man. Good on you. Well, good luck with it. I will drag you back down to the what I'm sure is a chaotic D6 debrief. But yeah, good luck with it, mate, and good luck with the practice. And we will see you next week, hopefully, once again in the podium or the commentary booth.
Ow, I'm a dork. Next week, I'm actually I'm actually not going to be around next week. I have to take another drop next week. I'm going to be in the mountains with family on a vacation. So you'll maybe see me in 2 weeks. Yes, exactly. Maybe my partner will be back. It's his wife's birthday, Travis Fletcher, who I'm having a blast with. He forgot it was his wife's birthday. He was getting all geared up for the race, and she's like, "Are you racing Wednesday? Is that happening?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course." And then he took a look at his calendar, and it dawned on him. And so he was out tonight. I'll be out next week. Catch you guys all later.
Take care, man. Thank you.
See ya.
All right. Well, that sounds like a tricky evening for Travis Fletcher. Our thoughts go out to you. Thoughts and prayers. So let's go ahead then and take a look. So we had, after that, we had how could we forget? We had Mike Cook. So let's go ahead and drag the Wonder Man into the commentator's booth. Mike Cook, you started 27th. You're off the back of not an ideal race at Spa. You haven't had the season that you wanted so far, but things all just seem to go your way in Hungaroring in the wet weather.
Yeah, it definitely did. I didn't really, with having that quali ban this week, I didn't have my expectations too high. I told my partner Glenn that I was going to just be safe and try to see what I could do and drive up to the pack. My goal was top 10, and I definitely exceeded that.
You certainly did, mate, by a long shot as well. Yeah, Justin, I mean, what questions have you got for a man who makes 24 positions gained in the end?
How do you just kind of locked in there today? Anything in particular that you felt like just clicked more than usual to just kind of scoop your way, or were you just kind of cruising and hoping that everybody else kind of fell off and you were able to just kind of gain position? How did you go into this race thinking that you would end up being in this position?
You know, there's a lot of practice that goes on over at the Wreck 'em Race team and the Noobs Are Us, and I give a lot of credit to those guys. Glenn's been pushing me the last 2 weeks when we had off, and he's kept my spirits up to my quali ban. You know, it's a disappointing thing, and I give my credit to my team and you guys for hosting this. You guys are a great job. It's a great organization. Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you as well. And thoughts about next week, getting ready for Red Bull Ring? Or how are you feeling? Have you driven the track before?
Yeah, I like Red Bull Ring. I think Glenn's should have my edge me out there. That's one of his favorite tracks, I think. So, and he's real good at it. So hopefully he can push me to have a repeat. Maybe we have him second, me third, or maybe me second, him third. You know, maybe a first place. We'll see.
I was gonna say, I'm thinking more of a 1-2 at the sounds of that. Any shout outs you'd like to give to anybody today? I know you did be giving Glenn a lot of them. Anybody else you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, shout out to you guys, man. You guys are doing a great job. I appreciate watching all the back the next day, and I enjoy doing that at lunchtime the next day. And like I said before, the WRT Noobs Are Us team, they're a great group of guys, and they've taught me well.
Well, we appreciate you tuning in, and everyone else tuning in as well. Anything else, Jay, you'd like to?
No, I think that's it, mate. Go and you know, I think, like I said, you got to go and change your shirt, maybe change your underwear after that race, because it must have been a sweaty one from your seat. But yeah, look, awesome job. We want to speak to you obviously again next week, so go get out of here, go do some practice, and yeah, fingers crossed we'll talk to you again. You deserve it, mate. I think you got the pace to really be up there fighting for that championship. So, you know, let's see it the second half of the season, and we'll see where you end up.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Take care, mate. I will put you back into... well, you're in race chat 11, I think. So let me try and put you back in there now. Cheers, mate. All right. Okay. So that was Mike Cook, who had the awesome race tonight. Let's go ahead then and talk to somebody who seems to have at least shaken off a few of the gremlins. He's finished in a similar position again today, so he's used to finishing in the top 3. Been very consistent over the course of the season, but never had first place this season. So Dylan, you didn't have to worry about stacking it. You didn't stack it. You managed to bring it home in second place yet again this season. How was that race for you in the end?
Sorry, I'm muted. It was quite good. My goal is just no spins, no mistakes, just stay consistent, and yeah, I'm missing my second in command here. Isn't here. Justin isn't here this week. He was down in Miami watching F1, but yeah, no, it was good.
Oh, that's awesome. So is Hungaroring or the rain something you're particularly good at? Something you enjoy? Did you practice a lot this week for it?
I did a good amount of practice. No, I'm not familiar with the wet. This was my first wet race, and I do really like the smooth inputs. Like, I think that was kind of nice to just not have to hammer on the brakes and hammer on the gas. I could just be really smooth the whole time. So that was fun. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, well, it definitely felt really frustrating at times. You're like, why am I having to brake 15 meters too late or too early? So it'll come with time. But no, I just appreciate you guys doing all that you do, and it's been so much fun. Mark's so fast. I'm so excited to be on his bumper every time.
Well, look, you finished in the top 3 for however many races now. We know you've got pace. What I want to know is, next week, should you finish the qualifying on that top step, right? Have you got the gremlins out of your system? Have you got the psychological aspect out of your system now? And next week, can we hope for a Dylan Bonsall win?
I hope so. I would love that. Mark is so fast, but I would love to get in front of him. It's hard. He is so consistent. So I'm gonna try, man. I'm gonna try. That'd be cool.
All right. Well, look, these people are probably used to it by now, but you know the drill. You get some shout outs. So please go ahead, shout out to the people back at home or people who have helped you out.
Yeah, all the Champion Motorsports guys. Like, I was so new when I started. I mean, I messaged you guys like to try and get into a qualification race like literally 2 weeks before this GT3, and everybody's been so friendly. Justin Montine, he reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, you want to be on our team?" So that's just awesome. Like, everybody's so nice. It's such a cool thing to come to. I look forward to it every week. And yeah, shout out to Jay, who's watched me on San Juan Island, and to Esther, who's watched me in the living room. Yeah, my biggest fans. It's crazy. It's so much fun. So
I'm glad you're having fun, mate. Love to see it. But yeah, look, awesome race. I'm gonna let you get back to it. Thank you so much. I really, truly am rooting to speak to you next week. And I'm hoping I'll speak to you last, because I normally do first last. So fingers crossed, mate. I believe in you. Go ahead, go practice, get some race practice in, some consistent laps in. And yeah, fingers crossed this time next week we're speaking to you again, and you're breaking out some champagne.
I will try, Jay. I will try.
Good man. All right, lovely job. I will put you back into the race chat, but we will hopefully, like I said, speak to you again next week, mate. Take care.
Thanks. Later, guys.
Bye. And then that leaves one man. The only time tonight he's come in last. I'm going to feel bad because he is hosting the debrief itself, but we're going to take precedence here.
Drag that man in here.
Drag
Mark
that man
DC.
in here. And Justin, it is over to you, sir.
Mark DC, #1. Let's go.
Wow.
How you feeling? I'm hyped.
Yeah, I'm very surprised. Yeah,
I'm
very
not. What you
surprised.
mean surprised? Consistency all season long. There's a reason you're here. How you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. I was just running the race review, so I'm a bit off guard right now, but
Just how we like
yeah,
it. Good. Good.
yeah. Um, yeah,
Talk us
feeling
through
great.
it.
Not expected. I think I told you guys last time. I was expecting everything to go downhill. I think I did a wet race in Hungaroring like a month or two ago, and it was just awful. So I was expecting the same thing, and I mean, I'm very. I shouldn't be winning any of these races. This is just I've been doing this for too long now, and it's still surprising. I just don't doesn't feel right.
Yeah, you had a little bit of a bad start. It looked like off the line. You fell back from second to third, and then I mean
Yeah,
after that you just locked in, and it just I don't know. It's just something. You just are able to stay in the zone the entire race all the way to the end. I mean, you
yeah.
definitely deserve to be here.
Thank
You
you.
know the drill. Any shout outs? Anybody you want to
Um,
give a special thanks to?
yeah, I already got my dog, got my teammate. I can't believe I got to do this one for my wife. She's been amazing in supporting me, and she's always been very supportive of me spending time behind the wheel, and especially with all the practice that I've been doing recently. So
She knows what's
yeah,
at stake.
probably
She's
never
seen the
should.
leaderboard, mate. She knows what's at stake. She hasn't got a choice now. Got to let you do that shoey at the
uh,
end.
yeah, she's always known I was a winner. She just gets to see it now, I guess.
Exactly, exactly. Well, look, go ahead and revel in your success. How are you
Thank
feeling for
you.
Red Bull Ring? What are you thinking of your chances? Don't be modest.
I was gonna say,
Tell us
don't
how
do
it
what you
is.
normally do. Tell us how it is.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a big under promise over deliver type of a person. So I'm gonna still under promise. Like I said, these last four races, I don't know. Uh, Red Bull Ring is just one of those where everybody is so good at it, and I don't know. I'm a guy that sticks between the lines, and that is a track that takes advantage of cutting curbs and stuff like that, which I'm not that great at. So we'll see. And then Barcelona is, I think, a similar track in the same way. And
But we don't know what
so I
Barcelona
don't
may
know.
be like because it's variable weather. So you might show up and it might be wet.
It might be wet. Yeah, man, I was sweating bullets with this race just because it's so unpredictable, never knowing what's going to happen. The practice race, I thought I was doing well, and a car spun out in front and totally just took me out. So I was just hoping for something like that not to happen, and luckily it stayed pretty clean. Um, there's always incidents, but they were pretty minor. So I feel really lucky and fortunate. So
Well, there you go,
every
ladies and
time
gentlemen.
every time
Focus
I look at everybody in D6 right now, there's just so many fast guys. So every time I just feel so fortunate. Yeah, thank you.
Bless you.
Congrats
Bless
again.
you. Congrats again, yeah. The man
Thank
who
you.
undersells is underselling himself again for the next two races. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. Just give him the trophy now. He's got it locked in. He's secretly confident. We know now how Mark DC works. But yeah, Mark, look, we wish you all the best for this week, and good luck with the practicing and giving it the excuse to your better half. Yeah, look, good luck for the practice, and we will hopefully speak to you again next week, sir. But for now, I will let you go back to your race chat and show them all what they should have done differently to be just as good as you. So have a wonderful week, and yeah, talk to you soon.
All right, thanks. Bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is our four drivers. So, our silver winner in Sean Paul, Mike Cook with a phenomenal comeback from 27th position to finish third, Dylan Bonsall, who finishes second place, and then the once again always reliable Mark DC finishing it off there in first place. So, that then was Hungaroring in the wet, we go just into the Red Bull Ring. The hills will be alive with the sound of the whatever they are, V6s, V8s, and V12. I thought that was a beautiful segment. No, I thought it was a beautiful segue. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please, as I said before, feel free to check in with our other races through the week. They're all on YouTube. You can see how the other divisions have done up and down the grid. As always, drop a like to let us know you're enjoying the content. But from myself, Jay Queasy, and from my co-commentator and teammate and partner in crime, Justin Rosenthal, we will see you 9 p.m. Eastern Time next Wednesday. No big gaps. We're back. We're ready for the last 3 races of Division 6. So until then, see you guys later. Stay safe and have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Bye, everyone.